I have some amazing panelists with me, along the value chain, practitioners, AI experts, startups, and the corporate tech perspective on the topic. Welcome, everybody. I would love to welcome Verena von Weiss. She's Vice President at Aurubis and the General Manager of the site in Lünen. Thank you so much that you're here with us. And what was super interesting, and we're going to talk about that with a picture in a second, is how your reality looks like, how your working reality looks like. It's hot, and it's not as clean and tidy as this space. So super nice to have some contrasting impressions here. And next to you, we have Max-Frederick Gerken, founder of Optocycle, a startup from Tübingen, if I'm right. And what you do basically is you have optical sensors that help you to detect the end of life of a building, basically, if it's on the construction site, or how do you call the opposite of a construction site, the demolition site? Yes. Demolition site, yeah. Thank you so much that you joined us today. And then we have Barbara Bachus from ExoMatter, founder of ExoMatter, a startup that sort of looks at the very beginning of the life cycle, right? So that's interesting. We have the end of the life cycle here. We have the beginning of the life cycle over there. And you're basically helping companies to identify material that is more suitable, more sustainable for what they try to do. Amazing that you're here. I'm really looking forward to hear your perspective. And then we have Marius Lanuschny from SAP, bringing the corporate tech perspective. You're responsible for the AI development in the sustainable products department at SAP. I'm really looking forward to understand how SAP is, like, data is so much interconnected with the name SAP. How are you looking at the topic? That's going to be super interesting. First of all, I would love to hear from the audience. Who is regularly using ChatGPT or other chatbots? When did you start using that? 2020. So that was basically, there was a shift in the game, right? Interesting. Who thinks that AI is going to change how we think about circular economy, how we can, the practice of circular economy? Interesting. That's not everybody, right? Who thinks it's just a buzzword? And the guy is running a startup that actually employs AI technology. So that's exactly what I want to talk about now. So let's start with some use cases. I think it's important that we look at the images that everybody brought. I think that really shows us the broad range of things that we talk about. And I would love to ask you, Verena, can you take us on a tour to Lünen, and then maybe also explain one or two applications that you at Aurubis, and I mean Aurubis is a company that is over 150 years old, right? So it's an old industry, but super relevant for the way we think about circular economy today, an essential player. What are you doing there, and why is AI potentially super important for you?
Yeah, so I already met some of you who have been in Lünen. So for those who haven't seen the site, you have to imagine to enter a big industrial area, and you see a lot of scrapyards. You see old copper, you see old draining pipes, you see old smartphones, mountains on mountains. And what we are doing there is we have 4 different furnaces. Behind me, I think you see the anode furnace and the casting wheel, and what we are doing is separating then the metal in its components, how it is in the periodical system. So meaning the copper, the gold, the silver, whatever comes out of it. And the nice thing of recycling copper is that if you have done this, you have the same quality as if you would put it the first time out of the earth. Yep. So we are not producing the ore, we are producing the raw materials, like we call it. We don't call it waste. And this is what we're doing. And maybe when we are talking about AI, this is a good picture for it, because one of our biggest issues is that we are running 24/7 the whole year.
Yep.
So most cost intensive is in case of a machine has a failure. So what are we doing? We're repairing it before it fails. So it's a classical predictive maintenance topic. And here we have 1,300 degrees, so it's not that easy to put sensors in this environment. But we have there a machine from the casting wheel who takes out the anode out of the casting wheel. Dig every second an anode. And there we have managed to find sensors who can see how the vibrations are going. And when they are out of range, we can do the predictive maintenance just in time, not too early, not too late. So just as mentioned, one use case here.
Super interesting. There was another case when we visited you. There are really, really experienced employees of yours that, like, for the last 40 years did nothing else than estimating how much of which material is in the scrap that is coming to our yard. You have to imagine these are huge yards, and you just see piles and piles and piles and piles of metal lying around there. And why is it so crucial to understand what's in there, and how is it done, and how can AI potentially support there?
Maybe if you have looked at the metal prices, you know how much worth they are. And the scrap dealers, of course, they sell it to us, but they would like to really know how much metal content it is in to get it paid. So we have a lot of experts doing nothing else to estimate in the printed circuit boards, in the rain pipes, in the mobile phones, how much is it? And it's not the same. We have low grade with low copper content, medium grade, high grade. And this is very labor intensive, and we have there an issue because you don't find people anymore who stay 30 years in a company and learn this job, and then so they are close to retirement. And what we did with AI, at the beginning we thought this is impossible, but AI is developing. We started to build a picture data pool, so make photos with drones and so on. It's called AI estimation, so they call it estimation, but I don't like it anymore. And at the beginning it was impossible. We have dust, we have rain, we have waste, we have, you know how it looks like in our facilities. But meanwhile, the generative AI is able to understand and balancing the picture a bit. So we are we are always comparing the analysis from the experts with the analysis from the generative AI, so estimate. And it's quite promising. I think in 2 to 3 years we are ready. And also time is there a factor. This estimation process, including lab and everything, is 40 to 90 days at the moment. And this is far too long. And with generative AI, I think we will become quicker.
Really interesting. You just mentioned generative AI. We have 3 AI experts sitting here. Could each of you maybe give us, before we move to the next use case, give us like a one-sentence definition of what AI is in your opinion? I know what your opinion is, but just the short definition that is on the top of your head.
For me, AI is at the moment mainly a buzzword used in marketing and used to sell a kind of fantasy to the people.
Okay, and technology-wise, it seems okay. People seem to like or think that intriguing that perspective. Let's elaborate that on a second. If you talk about your use case, Barbara, what do you think what's AI?
I mean, for us, it's very important, and I think it's necessary. So for me, it's not a buzzword. If you think about someone is helping you to get the knowledge out of a huge data gap. So what do I mean with that? We are doing digital materials development. So in the world, there are 10 to the power of 60 materials out there.
Yeah.
That's huge. So no human can go in the lab and test all the materials. So it's a huge possibility with AI that can say, okay, based on the necessities what the companies needs, we can easily jump in and say, okay, that's the best material for your use case. So and that wouldn't be possible if you wouldn't use AI, because you can train this AI model on a huge ton of data and get faster and better results. And that's what we are already doing. So that's not a buzzword for us anymore. That's really necessary.
So it's a data management technology.
It is a very important data management technology,
Nice.
I would say.
Marius, how is SAP looking at that?
Yeah, I agree also with Barbara. I think AI is a very big opportunity, opportunity, and we in SAP spend a lot of money to build a lot of AI capabilities in our product to also don't miss this big opportunity to went to the next century and be competitive.
Nice. It's good to understand how everybody's thinking about it. And I want you to discussing about the buzzword versus no buzzword thing in a second. But first, Max, you brought that image. And it's similar to what Verena told us. It's not. It's dirty. There is dust. It's not tidy and clean. It's a really stark contrast to the environment that we're sitting in right now. What are you doing?
Yeah, basically, it's cool that I sit next to Verena because she is dealing with a waste stream which is like quite small in comparison to what we did or what we do at the moment. But it's very, very high values in there. Basically, we are dealing with the biggest waste stream on Earth. This is construction demolition waste. Only in Germany we have like approximately 230 million tons of material every year, which is like coming out of demolition and stuff like that. And it's not the highest value material. I don't know, what is the price for a ton of copper at the moment?
It's 8,000.
8,000, okay. The ton price of concrete is 8 euros. So you see the differences. And because of this, it is so important that you have like a system which is capable of analyzing the waste stream in a very, very big manner. So we are building sensor systems, we are building custom hardware, so we're developing all of our hardware by ourselves. We have all the value creation in Germany. We are starting with raw sensors and building like a huge camera system out of it. And then we, on the other side, creating a software solution, which is like based on normal neural networks and normal machine learning techniques, which is capable to analyze this kind of material, either when it's, for example, on the bed of a truck, or on a conveyor belt, or in a heap. And only if you have like the knowledge about this material, you can decide where it should go and how it should be proceed in the ongoing process. And this is like, for me, this is the most crucial thing, because for real circular economy, we need data, because data is the thing which is like creating the closed loop. And for this, we are building our system and scaling it up at the moment.
Who else thinks that data is going to be something that we're going to talk about later again? Maybe raise your hands. A spoiler, we're going to talk about data in more detail. But first, Max, maybe you can explain, Barbara, why you think AI is a buzzword. And I would like really try to convince her, because I know she's not convinced at this point.
Okay. For me, AI is a buzzword because basically it doesn't describe a method that you're doing. Like AI is like a word which is created by the media or by the people using it, because they cannot describe what is going on there. But basically, when we look at the algorithms behind this, or the math behind this, this is like nothing special. This is like a vector multiplication in a very, very big way with a lot of parameters, okay? It's like very, very high amount of parameters, but in the end, it's like, it's only math. So this is nothing. Artificial intelligence always have like the word in German. It's way worse, because it's like intelligence over the head, and the people think that it's like a super machine who can rule the world and destroy all of humanity. But in the end, it's like how to use it and how to use it right. And because of this, we are using the word machine learning, because we think it describes more what it is than the word AI.
You convinced?
Yeah, that's a definition thing, right? So, I mean, then yeah.
I think we're on the same page, basically, but we only use different words for this.
I think it's very important. It doesn't matter if you call it AI, machine learning, or vector, whatever. I think it's very important to have it, and that's the future where we're going. And if you're talking about circular economy, I totally agree. Because, for example, materials, there's a huge opportunity out there. I mean, with the 10 to the power of 60, it's huge that you find better and more sustainable materials. So one part is recycling. That's very important because we have a huge amount of material already in the world. But the other side is to think about if you're going, for example, to batteries. Is lithium really the only way? Or is there another material out there that is more sustainable and not a raw earth material, for example, that you can use? And that's something what we are dealing. You can see here is a picture our platform. So basically what we are doing is we are simulating the molecular structure of the material, and then we can break it down to the properties what the customer is looking for. And we are the only one who have 5 dimensions. So the property, chemistry, physics, engineering, that's for sure, that's very important. But also we're going one step further and say, okay, sustainability, materials and cost is also one factor. Because if I am thinking about our customers, sustainability is very important, but they buy it because they can save money and not save CO2 at the moment. But that's a huge opportunity, and that's what we are dealing, and we are saying, okay, let's use machine learning, AI, whatever, to be faster, to generate materials out of this tons of data there, to make more innovative products.
But sorry, this is something I can totally agree with, because I think it's about use cases. And the only thing that I'm propagating all the time is that at the moment on this panel is written like, how can AI change circular economy? For me, it's not about the AI thing. It's like a good analogy is like when you say you have a very, very beautiful shelf, and you don't ask the person who built the shelf what saw did he use to cut the wood. It's about he built a beautiful shelf. We have to talk about use cases. And when AI, for example, in your use case, which I find very, very fascinating, is the technology you use, then it's cool. But don't talk about AI. Let's talk about the use case. And this is the only thing why I'm saying it's a buzzword at the moment.
And I think it's, I don't know if you agree from the industry's perspective, but what we see out there, it's very important that you have this buzzword, because that makes companies to try it out.
Yes.
And you need this moment that this technology is not just a technology, it's something that, for example, innovation managers has it as KPI. We need to do something with AI. Yes, that's a buzzword, but in the end, that's something that they try it out, and that's one step that we can find more sustainable materials.
And I'm sure we all can agree that there's a lot of, excuse my French, bullshit applications out there that just use it for the sake of using it. That's not what we're talking about right now. And I think that again, we can agree. One thing that I think is super interesting, if you see this, and if you remember Verena's image from the beginning, there was something that I asked you backstage. I was asking you, what do you think is where's the most potential of AI in the circular economy? And you were answering with, I think, in the design of products, which is interesting because right now you're representing the end-of-life perspective. Can you maybe elaborate that and maybe also explain how solutions like that are helping, maybe also in your industry at some point?
Yeah, with this answer, maybe I'm connecting also the discussion that you are currently having. Is AI a solution for circular economy itself? And I think circular economy, that we have a system issue. Yeah, we have cultural topic, we have antitrust law, we have companies are protecting their data for good reason. Yeah. This is our strategic resource, and so on. So AI is only a technique, and AI will not solve that issue that we would like to go for a circular economy. But what AI can do is, if we have the right data pools, and if we are clear on what is non-sensitive data, what is asset lifecycle management data, carbon footprint, lifecycle assessment data, if we are clear on standards, also with politics, then we can reach a lot. And this is what I meant when I said product design, because how to design a product, how to make it easy to disassemble, because at the moment, yeah, we are recycling a lot of mobile phones, but 10 years ago, in Nokia, there was worth of €1.40 of metal content in. Now it's 90 cents. Do you think I have the time and the cost to recycle for the rest of my life if there's no metal content anymore in? So maybe we have to discuss with Apple, how can we design it that it's more easier and cost efficient to disassemble? And I think there's also potential in.
I understand. That's super interesting. And I think there were a couple of keywords in for you. Marius, right?
Yeah.
If I think about your application, you also brought in a screenshot. I think is this a screenshot or is it a mock-up at this point?
No, it's a real solution. But first of all, I also agree with Max that AI is no magic. It's really just a statistic. We also talked about that. In our solution, so that's one of our sustainability solutions. It's called Responsible Design and Production. And there we help our customer to take care of their life cycle of their products, mainly focusing today on packaging. So how are the product packaged? And then they can make calculation of their EPR fees and can try to optimize them. And also we also give them some possibility to check their packaging, if it's a good one, or if you can make it more sustainable to come then also into an life cycle to a circular economy. Currently, we are working here also on AI use cases, and I think one which we are currently working on is a very important one. So we are trying to help the sustainability officer to reduce their time on reading document guidelines, how they have to package or to optimize their packaging of their products. So we have a Gen AI model where you can put in the whole guidelines, maybe 10, 20, 100 pages of a guideline, and then the AI is extracting the rules and regulations and are then automatically translate that in a machine-readable language, and then you can easily extract the EPR fees you have to pay for your packaging. And I think if you save this time for the sustainability officer, that they can really look on use cases, how to make their life cycle, their products much more friendly for a circularity way, then we have a huge opportunity to help them.
Yeah, I agree, and it was interesting. Backstage, we had a discussion, and when Marius was mentioning it, then suddenly we did not talk about AI anymore, but about regulations and how they're stupidly long sometimes, and how we right now need AI to like narrow it down and comprehend everything. One question regarding the software. So, what's the name of it? It's the design is part of the name of the software. It's the sustainable design and
responsible design and production. Yes.
Could you? So, if Apple was using that, maybe it's already using it.
Yeah.
Could that help Verena with the iPhone problem?
Yeah.
And how?
Yeah, so this is the long way what we want to get with this product. Currently, we are focusing only on packaging, but the overall goal is that this should then be applied to all products. I heard about the EPR declaration for then textiles, so we can also make this possible for these kind of products, because if you have in your ERP system, even if it's from SAP or not, you can easily translate or extract these data to our solution, and then you can say, I don't want to use this or that product because, or this kind of material because it's hard to recycle. And then maybe you can see, okay, this product is very good from a recycling perspective or a reuse perspective. And so I think there are very high opportunities also then for an iPhone or some other producer, so for the whole life cycle of products.
So the vision is really to support with the design process from the beginning. Yeah. Okay. How is Barbara's solution sort of supporting your work, Verena? Is there a benefit if you know that materials are designed in a specific way? Is that saving time, for example? Or is it irrelevant because you just throw everything into the furnace and melt it down and then it's separated anyway?
That's not that easy. Yeah, definitely. So we are already in contact.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
one of the topics of the festival, collaboration between startup and corporate. Great that this is actually happening. I did not know that.
I think there are different use cases, and what we can see from the discussions are there's one use case what we are dealing is to use AI to find completely new materials. So there is no data already there. So AI is trained on some data that we generate with different methods, and then it's trained, and now AI is generating completely new materials. In your use case, I think it's more that you have the data and you make it more efficient with AI. And I think that's two different use cases, and that's in either this way or the other way is AI helping. One is time saving, the other one is really crucial to make innovation faster and more efficient, I would say.
Marius, I just want to say I like also your use case, because this is what we also have tried in a proof of concept, to make some suggestion how you can improve your product within generative AI. But usually a generative AI like GPT is trained on the a large number of data sets which are all in the internet, and if we try, please, can you optimize this packaging, it's more like a general answer, please don't use this plastic, or for example. So it's very hard to make really some improvement by not using any data, so just using this LLM, and I think you are having this data available, right?
Yeah, we are producing this data because that's exactly this challenge what we see from the industry perspective. Because when you say Airbus, for example, is one of our customers, and when they're thinking about a new product for their planes, for example, they have already the data, because they're not 1 year in the market, they are experts in this field. But the problem is that the data in the R&D sector and the material sector is based on handwriting notes sometimes. So also for Airbus or some Excels that's lying around, so you cannot use this data at the moment. So I think the next step in the material sector, R&D sector, is really to find the technology to make this data usable for our technology.
I think there's an amazing keyword up here. The data quality. And maybe let's go back to that one. Data quality. How often do you think we mentioned the term data in the last 10 minutes? I think it was quite a few times, right? And I think that's something that we need to talk about today. So is AI this almighty tool, or is it a toothless tiger, ein zahnloser Tiger, if we don't have the appropriate data? So maybe Max, why is data so critical to your work?
So when we think of the first term, what Marius also mentioned, that AI is at the moment nothing more than like a statistical method. A statistical method is implicit relying on data to work, because when you have no data, you can make no statistic operations on it. This is like, this is like the basic of it. And this is why we need data. And when we are talking about like all the time about AI and circular economy, what I am seeing with our customers, which are like, we have like some of the bigger companies like Heidelberg Materials or Alba or Cemex, but we mainly also work with like German Mittelstand, which I think is something which we can be so proud of, to say this here on the stage, because it's like the most important thing we have in Germany, the Mittelstand. Then we often have the problem that the lack of data is not because they don't want to collect it. It's more like what Barbara said, that it's like someone writes something on a paper and then scan it or send a fax. I don't know the English, but fax. Is there an English word for fax? I think we're the only one using it.
We can ask the audience, who's still using a fax in their companies? Okay, that's good news. You're on the right track to AI.
Nobody working for the government. Basically this is like the biggest problem. And when we talk all the way about AI or something like that, I think the main topic is, let's talk about digitalization, because
that's a good point.
This is the thing. It's like you can use some technique. We can discuss like the whole day if we call it AI or machine learning. I'm okay with that for this panel, but we can only use this kind of techniques when we have like a digital ecosystem where we're working in. And this is the crucial point. We have to digitalize our economy and our society. And only when we do this, then we can use these cool algorithms and all of this stuff to make it happen.
There is one quote that I love. I think I'm going to remember. There's like no statistics without data, and I think that's the golden rule. How are you dealing with the data topic, Verena?
So I think we have to distinguish between the promise AI is giving and then the practical implementation. And the practical implementation, we have a data issue. So the good news is we have a lot of data. So this is the reason why a lot of startups love to work with us, because if you have the data standardized and in a pool and accessible, then you can do a lot.
Congrats.
But this is a way to go. We need the sensors, we need the infrastructure to IT/OT systems, we need readable, handwritten documents in one surrounding, and so on. And this way to go sometimes makes it. This is a practical implementation. What I meant makes it a bit longer. But this is the homework.
I want to make one small addition to the thing sensors, because I think this is like a very, very crucial topic. Sensoring technology, because the last year sensoring technologies were developed for a human to work with it. Just a quick example, when you have like a camera which is recording something, then it was constructed because a human should look at the picture and make a decision. But we have to think further. There is no human making the decision anymore. When you use like techniques like machine learning or computer vision is a sub-technique of this, you can use far behind in the wavelength, for example. You can look at infrared data, you can look at ultraviolet data, and you can combine all of this. So we have to rethink of the way that we are censoring materials, that we are, censoring is like transferring real-world data into digitalization. And this is like a point we cannot forget in the future.
That's super interesting. I think the whole censoring thing is something, if you want to found a startup, do it in censoring. Barbara and Marius, do you also agree that data is the bottleneck? The infrastructure is critical?
Definitely. I think there is no, nobody can say no when we are talking about machine learning, and that's crucial data to have. But I'm totally in Verena's point. That's exactly the homework that the industry has to make.
Yeah, I completely agree. Data is the crucial part. Without data, no AI machine learning model are really working. So it's better to have like small standardized AI use cases for each product, and there you need good data for. We can also use maybe a Gen AI GPT model for some questioning and answering. But if you then have the data available and can fine-tune them, that this is a more specialized AI tool for especially the right thing of question. Like in SAP, we have our digital system called Joule, and we have trained them also on our whole SAP world data, so they can really answer also question for a specific SAP product. If you just use a GPT or open AI model and ask a question about RDP, I get some strange answer which does nothing. Nothing of SAP.
When we are talking about data, then you have to talk as well about data security, to be honest, because our
Let's go, we have 2 more minutes.
1 second, our use case is that, for example, if we would take Airbus data and train our machine learning on that, then Boeing is coming and say, okay, I want to use this platform.
You're going to build Chinese walls inside your company.
That's impossible, right? And that's also something what I think in the future, for example, especially in the material sector, is very important to think of.
Really interesting.
And I see the timer, so that was
my short. We're going to use all the time.
I just want to say I disagree with this. I think when we talk about circular economy in the future, it's important to not have like build up Chinese walls. This is one of our main goal at Optocycle, that we say to every customer who say, I want my exclusive data room or something like that. We're not talking about that kind of customer data that they see like this is the customer or something like that. But we are saying we're using the same model for everything, for everyone, because we are promising them to help them and not to build like exclusive environments. And when we think about future, we have to think about collaboration and not separation.
And I would like to disagree with you. Last minute. Because we have to protect our technology knowledge, and this will stay. I know that circular economy is about system thinking, but again, saying what is non-sensitive data, and this is not a lot. There we have to focus on. So the future of AI will lie in 90% administrative work will disappear within the next 5 years, I promise you. We'll speak again in 5 years. And with all the pilots in predictive maintenance, in STEAM energy optimization, in ChatGPT within a company, we will make a lot of progress.
I will disagree with this again, because when just a little example, when we look, for example, at the automotive sector at the moment, China is not overtaking the European car makers because they have like spied on their knowledge of batteries. They have overtaken because they developed a new kind of technology, and we have to think about above patterns, because in a world where we like have software code and stuff like this, we have to make like a strong open source community, and the best one should win, and not the one with the best patent lawyers, I think.
I can also say maybe one sentence to that. Private data, customer sensitive data, very important. You have to protect this. Everything else, which are open data, free, available on the internet, should be shared to all.
I think we're not at an end. I think we could like go up backstage and just continue with that discussion. But we would like to ask you, or give you the chance to ask some questions. Maybe there's a couple of takeaways for me. There's the last thing that we talked about. Data is value. Data, like the last 10 years, everybody promised us the data economy. I think now we really see where the value in the data lies, and like how we can utilize the data. There's the nice quote that no statistics without data. that was interesting. Anything else that you took away? Any insights?
I think that's the main, right?
Nice.
Data.
Thank you so much. We would like to give you the chance to ask a couple of questions. Is there something? Anybody ask ChatGPT what a nice question would be? I mean, I'm happy if the panel was exhaustive and complete, but I'm pretty sure that there are question marks. No. In that case, there is one. And could you also say to whom you're asking the question?
Yes, sure, Leonhard, thank you. My question goes to you, Barbara. You mentioned that your solution creates new materials. I'm since then wondering, what do you mean? Because you're bounded to the periodic table at the end of the day. Are you producing new products? What is new materials?
I mean, new material is, if you think about the 10 to the power of 60, there are so many combinations about, so we are talking about the chemical structure. That's for us a new material. And there are huge opportunities out there. So if you think about a company saying, okay, I need a material that has this temperature, is I don't know, sustainable or whatever, and then we can create based on the molecular structure, okay, this, from the picture, for example, lithium-3 ion cathode, that's for us then a new material.
Thank you, Barbara.
You're welcome.
Very nice. Yeah, I mean, that was the amazing part about this panel, right? From the molecule to the scrap in Lünen on the yard, we covered basically a big chunk of the value chain. If there are no further questions, I would like to thank you for coming by. It's a far journey for a couple of you. Thank you so much.